What is going on, viewers of YouTube? Sunspot here for you guys. My review of the 3-0 Breaking Bad Heisenberg 1/6 scale collectible figure. As per usual, I do want to highlight the packaging. I do have the slipcover on right now. It does have a really cool feature. I'll get to that in a minute. Just say Breaking Bad at the top. You do see the outline of Heisenberg's head, like how his eyebrows and all his hair and stuff were like outlined with the orange and stuff. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. It's all, you could see the desert in the background there, reminiscent of the first episode, and it does say 1/6 scale collectible figure Heisenberg. Side of the box does continue that desert effect to say Breaking Bad, let's cook, with the fly on top of his very, very beautiful gas mask. And bottom of that just says Breaking Bad. The other side is practically the same thing with that same logo, only here you could see the desert. And back of the slipcover does have the figure himself in action, looking pretty badass. He is not in Heisenberg form, he just has his, regular Walter White appearance, but it's pretty good. And I do like the weathering effect at the background with the desert and everything. And does say Breaking Bad 1/6 scale collectible figure Heisenberg. If you were to remove the slipcover, you would see a window display where you would see the figure. Now, the really cool part about this box is that it's like just like a giant piece of meth. It's pretty intense. To say Breaking Bad, very plain but really cool. As for the figure himself, this is something I have been waiting for a very, very long time. It has been quite a number of years since Breaking Bad has ended, and the collector community has been waiting for something, if not Hot Toys, something similar to a Hot Toys Heisenberg. Thankfully, 3-0 has saved our lives, and here we go. As for the head sculpt, this is Bryan Cranston. Nobody can tell you otherwise. This is Hot Toys quality stuff, people. And I gotta say, this really impressed me. I didn't expect this head sculpt to be as impressive as it is in person. And I know, the product images, and I'm gonna give you guys a 360, make it seem a little off, just... You see that with Hot Toys too, in the product images. Even in the final product images, it doesn't look completely like the actor or the character presented on the big screen. But it was, usually when you get it in person, it does look quite accurate. And that's how it is with this one. You could tell the amount of detail they put in this is pretty intense. You can see he has his little mold, the beard is sculpted beautifully, all the wrinkles and everything, especially his eyes, how they're kind of squinty and everything like they are in the show. And, I don't have his glasses on right now, I'm just going to leave that for the accessory section of the video. But you could tell just the amount of detail they put on the all over the head with all the wrinkles, the freckles, everything. It's incredibly, incredibly detailed. This is Hot Toys quality. Even, I do want to remove his collar here. You could see there is detail on the neck with skin wrinkles and everything. Actually, right now you could see how just detailed his eyes are. They're glossy, they're painted very well, exceptional paint job everywhere. You could see top of the head, more of the wrinkles and stuff. I can't tell this right here if this is like a paint, not a paint smudge, but maybe a little defect. Maybe that's just, part of his head, but it really doesn't bother me considering I will have this guy with a hat. But just the amount of detail is astonishing. I love how they sculpted the back of the head especially. You could tell that it's kind of, gonna sound weird, right? But it's kind of wavy and stuff, but that's just, how human skulls are. They're not, just perfectly straight up. No, if you were like that, then for the love of God, go see a doctor. Giving you guys a better look at the head and the nose and everything. All the wrinkles under the nose, the mouth, covered by the beard. Just an exceptional paint job, a sculpt all around. This is Bryan Cranston for sure. And same goes for the rest of the figure. I must say, the tailoring on this is pretty impressive. I've gotten some Hot Toys in the past, or at least taken a look at some Hot Toys with similar tailoring like this, a doll, I guess. I really don't like referring to these things as dolls, but in reality, that's what they are, very high quality dolls. But usually when the Hot Toys ones, the tailoring's decent. It's not too bad. You could sometimes tell that maybe it's a little too fat and everything makes the guy look too fat. But this one, it's really good. I love what they did with this. The jacket has so much detail. You could tell like down here, just with all the wrinkles and stuff, how it just packs up. It's very impressive. The tailoring is really nice. You can tell his undershirt especially. Amazing detail. An actual, is this an actual pocket? I can't tell. Yeah, it's an actual pocket, so you can, actually, you could probably put one of the money packets in there. I'm going to test that later for the video. That would be kind of cool to see. And he actually does have an undershirt, you could tell. right there, undershirt. So, looking pretty cool. One thing you may not notice on the video is that they just use a standard 1/6 scale body for this, right? You know, they don't just make a specific old guy body. That would be weird. I should probably stop talking now. But in all seriousness, they used a standard 1/6 scale body, but they actually did put a lot of cushioning, especially at his belly, because you know he's an old dude. He should have that, and it just makes the tailoring and just overall style just look a bit more realistic. One thing I must add is that he actually has a real zipper on the jacket. I've never zipped up the jacket. Can it actually zip up? Yeah, looks like it can. Looks like it can. I haven't tried that yet. I don't think I will, just because there's not really too much of a point in that, but it's just nice that they added that. Moving down on the figure, you can tell they used an actual belt, looking really cool. It seems a little bit fragile. I feel like when I'm messing around with this guy, articulating him, this thing is just going to pop off. It seems a little bit too fragile, just the material they used. But, you know, I don't think too many collectors are going to be messing around with this, and he actually does have back pockets, which I thought were really cool. You can tell the belt just goes all around. Just magnificent tailoring, people. Just, it's really impressive. Actual pockets everywhere. Keep money in there. So it's just really cool. If I were to complain about something with the tailoring, it's that you could tell it gets really skinny down here, just compared to the rest of the leg. And maybe that's realistic, but you know, looking at the 1/6 scale body and how there's not too much cushioning down here, it could just make it seem a little too skinny and just not completely proportional from a distance. But if you know, maneuver the clothing around, it can look very good. You could tell the shoes, they don't have real lacing. Obviously, not many of these type of collectibles do, but they're pretty accurate to the show, you know. I don't remember exactly what he wore. I didn't really dive into that research, but I trust 3-0, and from what I can tell, they're pretty accurate, you know. I do wish they had real laces. That would have been really nice, considering, you know, with the belt and all the tailoring overall, it would just make it, you know, all around just amazing. But it's honestly not too big of a deal, and I think they did an exceptional paint job on this too, how it's kind of weathered out, and you could tell the top is a bit wrinkly and stuff. He's obviously been wearing them for a while, so exceptional job. Now, I do have a tiny gripe with this figure, and this is just me. I'm being very selfish, but the hands, they're not old guy hands, and I'm not, you know, being a dick or anything, but you know, they just took a standard 1/6 scale pair of hands, you know, and just slapped it on. You know, it doesn't have too much wrinkles or anything and stuff. You know, you do see the veins, and you know, they did put a bit of wrinkles on the hand, on the tips of the fingers and all, but besides that, it's just a regular hand. And I think for this type of figure, for this type of character, it should have a bit more detail. As for articulation, this guy does have a ton. Although he does pack on a lot of clothing with the tailoring and all, it doesn't take away from the articulation. His head can look up that much, down that much, left and right, you know, side to side. It actually can go 360. I don't recommend it because it does feel a little bit loose on mine. His arms can go forward that much, you know. He can't go the full 360 because of the jacket tailoring, obviously, but it can go far back, out and in. He does have a bicep rotation. I think he has just one, no, it looks like he has two, maybe one point of articulation at the elbow. His wrist can fully rotate as well as wobble. His waist can go forward that much, back that much, and be careful his shirt doesn't pop out of his pants. Now I gotta fix that. Can go left and right. He has plenty of articulation there. You know, Sunspot, sometimes I wonder, like, what are you doing with your life? I mean, you're tucking a shirt back in an old man doll's pants, and is this really what you're doing with your life? Yep. Legs can go forward this much, back just a little bit, can almost do the splits. He does have a thigh rotation, 2 joints at the knee. His foot can go forward, back, and he does have an ankle pivot. As for size, Heisenberg is approximately 12 inches tall and stands in great scale with other Hot Toys figures, although not Hot Toys. Again, this is a 3-0 figure. Do have him next to Star-Lord, approximately the same height, and I do have him next to Iron Man, the Mark III Stealth version by Hot Toys, which I'll be reviewing here in the future. I think Iron Man should be a bit taller, but again, no big deal. And here he is next to my alpaca. As for accessories, and I'm holding this upside down, am I? Yep, I am. He does come with 5 stacks of money. yeah, and these are actually individually printed. I'm going to remove the little cover right here to show you just the amount of detail they put on this is pretty astonishing, and the amount they made is pretty intense too. And again, there's like 5 stacks of these, so you could tell they put a lot of work into this, which I really appreciate for such a small piece of the figure. So, you know, thumbs up for 3-0. He does come with an extra pair of hands, one for the left and right for holding his gun, and the other 2 which I have on the figure are for holding the money, but they could also be used just as a relaxed hand. And he of course does come with his gun. You know, when I first got this, I was like, you know what? I never got a Hot Toys figure where I got a pistol which can like cock back and you take out the magazine, and I picked this up and was like, oh man, this is gonna be the first time! And then nothing happened. Yeah. Unfortunately, this doesn't have all the cool features that some of the Hot Toys figures do, but, you know, this is not Hot Toys 3-0. I just wish you could, like, remove the magazine, cock it back, but besides that, exceptional detail. I wish there was a bit more weathering on this, but besides that, I do like the paint job they put on it, and yeah, just your standard 1/6 scale gun. Does come with a pair of sunglasses, which, of course, he used to formulate Heisenberg with his famous pork pie hat. These are pretty cool. Accurate to the show, you know. Nothing too much to say about them. Not, you know, crazy detail, just a pair of sunglasses. Does come with his Walter White standard pair of glasses. A lot of detail on this, believe it or not. I do like the shades of gold and brown they use on this, even though it's not showing on camera. I know there have been complaints online that makes his eyes look too big, which I'll get to in a minute, but I'd say they're still okay. And last but not least, he comes with his signature Heisenberg hat. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I love this so much. I will put this on my Tony Stark figure one day. You watch. You watch, people. And if you just want to make him regular Walter White, not bedtime Walter White here, you just put his regular glasses on, and there you go. Now again, some people say this is not completely accurate to the show, but if you do watch the show, you know, the episodes where he actually wears this, it's pretty accurate. You know, it's not spot on. I think the lenses or the material they used for the lenses on this could have been a bit more clear and not as magnifying, but still looks cool. And if you want to go full Heisenberg on this badass, all you do is put his sunglasses on. Again, these fit, like, tight, so they're not gonna, you know, they ain't gonna fall off. And you put his famous pork pie hat, and there you have Walter White looking absolutely badass, and he's about to fall over, but that is okay. So overall, this is a must-have figure, people. If you are in need, desperate need, of basically a Hot Toys Walter White, I highly recommend you check out the 3-0 1/6 scale Walter White Heisenberg collectible figure. This thing has beautiful tailoring, amazing detail all around, and an exceptional figure. And with that said, people, if you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, comment, check out my site, sunspotreviews.com, and I will see you guys in my next video.